Hey there, welcome back, and if it's your first time, welcome. I'm happy to have you here with me. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I have a couple of gaps on the AT, and I'm getting ready to go back and fill a big hole, about 225 miles, in probably 2 or 3 weeks. My actual start date is a little bit up in the air right now, but it's going to be sometime in June, and I will have, I'm guessing, about 3.5 weeks to hike this 225-mile gap. So I'm really excited about that. I feel like that's a good amount of time to get the hiking done, but also enjoy the trail, enjoy being out with other hikers. So I'm super excited, and I thought it would be fun to share with you just a little peek behind the scenes as far as some of my planning. So today we're going to talk a little bit about food, planning, logistics, that sort of thing, and let's get to it. In addition to the dehydrated food that I showed you last week, I'm already packaging up some resupply boxes to send. I know that I'll have plenty of towns that I'll be walking through and places when I can get restaurant meals and that sort of thing. So I'm not doing the resupply boxes because I'm afraid I won't be able to resupply. Instead, I'm really doing it for efficiency and practicality. I want to be able to hike as much as possible. So if I can send a resupply box to a post office or a hostel where I'll probably be staying, then I can just grab my food and even just do a Nero instead of having to take a zero. I actually don't really plan to take any zeros. I'm allowing for maybe 1 or 2 if I feel like they're necessary. But my plan is really just to hike as quickly as I can through that area, as quickly as I can, and still enjoy the process of hiking. But definitely want to do what I can in terms of increasing my efficiency. And I realize because I'm a little bit out of shape, it may take me a few days to get my trail legs going, but I do think that I can move at a pace of probably about 14 to 16 miles a day on average. And as I'm doing that, I just want to be able to kind of grab my food and go, know what I've got, not have to spend a few hours going through the process of getting to town, getting to the grocery store, doing my resupply, breaking up packages, and things like that. So some of the items I have here are things that I've just kind of had in my backpacking pantry for a while, and a few are things that I've supplemented. For example, I bought breakfast essentials at Costco a while back, and I don't know how many was in the box, probably at least 48. So I've got those, and I can just add those to my boxes. I have these Welch's fruit snacks, which I like a lot while I'm on the go. And those typically come in a 10-pack in the grocery store, or a 4-pack if you buy them at Dollar Tree, but I don't know how easily I'll be able to get to a Dollar Tree, so I've just taken what I had at home and bought another 10-pack, and we'll divide them up. And olives are a great snack for me, especially at lunchtime, because I really don't like the traditional lunch food, so these will be handy to have for a couple days a week, 2 or 3 days a week to eat for lunch. And then I've also got these little Slim Jims that I like. These are good both for snacks and a couple of them with some cheese makes a good lunch for me as well. As long as it's supplemented by something else, like maybe a few nuts. And salami also, when you can find it, shelf-stable salami, I like for lunch. And I, again, will just eat this with cheese. Now, sometimes in the stores, when I was hiking in the last year, this was easily $4 or $5 a package, and I was in Kroger the other day, and it was $1.79. So I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and pick up one package. Don't love tuna, but I do have a couple of packs that, again, I could stomach it maybe once a week, but definitely not every day. And so those are some of my lunch things, but when I'm out on the trail, I will grab some cheese and possibly some rolls. I do like the Hawaiian rolls. They make a nice little cheese sandwich, so probably get some of those things as I go along. And I do have all the dehydrated food. I think I've got about 12 meals that are dehydrated already. And I was able to pick up a few of these backpacking meals on sale. So I thought, well, let me go ahead and try them. I haven't had the good to go, not very many of them. I had a pad thai that was good but very spicy. So I have some of that. I have some ramen noodles that were just in my backpack pantry for odd trips, and so I'll take those in addition to the food. And my goal is to kind of make sure I have a dinner for every night in my boxes. Breakfast, I know I may just supplement on the trail, run into a place and grab something to eat, pick up a honey bun, whatever. So breakfast I'm not so worried about. I'm just going to use what I've got. When I was out on the trail last year, I discovered that Cafe Bustelo makes an instant cafe con leche, which I really liked because it had the coffee and the sugar. I haven't been able to find that again, but I do have these little single-serve packets. I also have coffee packets that I blended up myself, so I'm going to just measure out, figure out how much I need. And then the Nido is great for additional nutrients. It's a powdered milk product that's fortified, and so I'll divide this up into packets like this so that I can carry probably just one of these in each in each resupply package, and I can put that in with my milk. I can put that in with my coffee. And usually what I do for breakfast is I take breakfast essentials, some coffee, and some Nido, and make sort of a breakfast shake, if you will. That works out pretty well for me. And then I also like to have some extra sugar, just because, you know, when you're on the trail, if you're really hurting for calories, it's nice to be able to just kind of bump up the calorie count a little bit sometimes. So I carry a few of these just in case, but I don't always put them in my coffee, but it's nice sometimes to have that extra little sugar boost. Snacks, I'm sort of picky. As I mentioned, I really do like these Welch's snacks. I like to have a little candy bar at the end of the day. I like to have Starburst if I'm going up a mountain, just for a little extra sugar boost. So things like that. I'll break these up and I'll put them into packages that will suffice for maybe 3 or 4 days at a stretch. And as I go through my planning process of post offices, because this is a shorter trip, I can pack everything up and just send it before I leave, so I don't need to have anybody send it for me. Now, in planning my stops, I have gone through both the AWOL guide, which I have loose leaf from last year, and that should be fine. I know a few things have changed, but for such a short trip, I don't think it's going to be an issue. And I've gone through and marked places that I might want to stay and towns where I can get access to a post office to pick up my package. So I'll be doing that, and typically I just carry a few pages, the pages that I need, in a plastic Ziploc bag. This is a heavy duty one that's made for the guide, and that works out for me pretty well. I keep it in my pack and look at it at night to plan for the next day. I know some hikers just carry this with them in a pocket, and I've actually been with hikers who unfortunately lost it out of their pocket while they were hiking. Others carry the whole book if they don't have the loose leaf, and they just mark it up as they go. But this system has worked pretty well for me, of just pulling out the pages that I need and sticking them in my my little tent pack is what I call it, where I have my evening, my journal and other items that I use in the evening, so I can just go through, look at what the terrain is, any distinctive landmarks that I might want to stop and see, things like that. And so that's what I do for a guidebook. And of course I've got Gut Hooks, which I use on my phone very regularly. I find that to be a very efficient and helpful app. And then I've also got PDF versions of the AWOL guide and the ATC guide, because the information that they contain is a little bit different. The ATC guide tends to have a little bit more kind of local color and background information, which is fun to read about sometimes. And then AWOL is just very specific and to the point. You know, it tells you where you're going to be, what the mileage is, and, you know, anything specific that you need to know about shelters and waters and things like that. So that's good for me for planning. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm a bit of a planner, and I do like my spreadsheet. So I have actually gone through and kind of estimated mileage for this trip, you know, when I arrive, and then approximate miles that I might be doing the first few days, and then working up to longer miles, and then also picking up, you know, where I will be wrapping up this gap that I need to fill in. So I know that I am not going to be sticking to this exact mileage. It's really just helpful to me in terms of as kind of a rule of thumb, and estimating, you know, when I might be in a town with a package that I want to pick up. So this is going to help me plan those resupply boxes that I showed you. But again, I know it's not set in stone. I won't even be taking this with me probably, but it's good for me just for a planning process. I also did the same thing with hostels, because I wanted to get an idea of what hostels were available, where they were, what their services are, that sort of thing. So I've got this hostel list, and I might use this just to plan out some, you know, thoughts in terms of where I might want to stop if I do stop at a hostel, or if I do take a 0 day. But again, I won't be taking this with me. It's just for planning purposes only. And I know some of this is a little bit out of date, so I'll have to go by what's the most current in Gut Hook or AWOL. I did find a list of post offices online, and I will go ahead and double check all the opening dates and hours, because those do tend to change. But I'll use that for my final decisions as far as where I'm going to send my resupply boxes. And I should be able to get those all packed up and ready to go before I leave, probably even a week before I leave. I can drop them all in the mail at once and use the regional rate service boxes that I like. Those are based on weight and distance, and they tend to be pretty affordable if you buy your shipping online. I actually did a video on that, which I'll link up above if you're curious about seeing that. And I find it works out pretty well if you do decide that you want to send resupply boxes. All right, now the final thing you might be wondering about is travel to and from the trail, and I don't have that nailed down yet. A couple options I have for getting from Atlanta to Harper's Ferry are taking a train or flying to DC and taking a train into Harper's Ferry, and then the final option is to take a bus. And I think I might actually take the bus because it's a pretty economical approach and it's a lot more flexible in terms of being able to get tickets kind of at the last minute. So that's what I'm looking at right now, but like I said, my dates aren't firm, so I haven't locked that down, but otherwise you get a good idea of kind of how I'm laying things out and planning. I didn't cover my gear today, but I will be doing that probably next week. So now I do have some special news to share. And in my last video, I asked viewers to give me some feedback on the idea of a backpacking course, specifically for the Appalachian Trail. And I got some great feedback, and I've actually been working on putting that together. It's a little bit different than just a series of videos. It's actually going to be a course with several videos and handouts, downloads, and some exercises to help you through that process of planning, preparing, and hiking the Appalachian Trail. So that is coming very soon, and if you're curious, please go to my website, joyfulrambler.com. I'll put a link down below for you to get some more information. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click the bell so you get notified of all my new videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and you've stayed through the end of this video, then thank you so much for being with me, and I look forward to taking you on my next adventure.